Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 10th of March episode of the Bevies, Blades, and Bushcraft, where we got us some bevies, we got us some blades, and we may, in fact, discuss some bushcraft related stuff. Now, before we get into who's hanging and who's jawing away, I'll do the usual housekeeping. That's the part where I say that if you're watching us time shifted, thank you for your eyes and your ears. Thank you for the comments that may appear in the doobly-doo down below the video screen. Warms the cockles of my heart to know that you're out there and you're engaging with the content even after the fact, even when you cannot participate in the side chat. That's not currently happening right there. Mike is weird. Okay. Hold on. If I'm gonna have a weird mic thing all night, I'm gonna cut it off like super fast. Is this better? I am getting no answers. I don't know what that means. Well, there goes my enjoyment of the night already. Okay, how's that? So if I now what? Okay, so echo cancel off. I don't know why it keeps coming on. And if I turn that on, okay, but why does it keep popping out? Am I peaking? That seems okay. Okay, I think that's going to be okay. All right. Yes. Oh, stupid sinuses. Okay, I don't know what I was talking about. So, I mean, fuck it. Whatever it was supposed to be, it was going to be great. So tired of this shit. So tired of paying for something I know is going to let me down. All right, whatever. Canadian said hi up in the beginning with all the usual fangs. Excuse me. Then there's Mr. Country Boy saying that the live streams are important. That's good to know. They're important to me too. They're supposed to be my, the highlight of my week. But when this shit is pissing me all the way off, it's kind of hard to remember that sometimes. Dave is number 3. I mean, you guys are early, though. It's like 8:47 when you guys are commenting. Hello, Mr. Country Boy. Country Boy, by the way, is a channel mod and a channel hero. Excuse me. David the Instigator is also a channel mod and a channel hero. Just letting you guys know. Is everyone's knife sharp? Some of my knives are sharp. Some of them need a sharpening job. Yeah, Canadian's out for the moment. Peanut Trucker popping in. How you doing? I'm about halfway. I'm probably just over halfway finished your book. So if everyone else who bought one is about the same, then we should be on maybe next Tuesday. It's tough to say because St. Pat's is coming up, so I'm practicing every night rather than reading. There's Destiny saying hi, saying hello. I'm in a bad mood now. Country Boy's asking the important questions, though. What's on the board tonight? And Destiny is saying cheese, green onions, tomato and taco chips, sour cream, salsa on the side. I made fajitas for supper, chicken fajitas for supper tonight. So So I also had salsa. I should make my own salsa. I mean, I buy that Tostitos stuff, and it's fine, but I kind of want to make my own, or like pick a de gallo or something. I think he's here somewhere. We can't have the book discussion tonight because not everyone's finished it yet. I noticed that someone else is only about halfway through, and I'm halfway through because I got through the first half in about 2 days of transiting, and then I started having to practice a lot because I had a band practice on Sunday. Because as I told you guys, we're using a different fiddler for St. Patrick's this year. So we were learning some new songs to sort of make her feel like she's not just an add-on. So we asked her to pass us some songs to learn, which she did, about 10 of them. Yes, everybody, please hit that thumbs up. Right now, my YouTube is telling me that I have 0, but I know that's because blah, 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 whatever. I'm skipping across this whole mic conversation because I'm getting really bored with this issue. There's Christy saying hi to everybody. How you doing, Christy? How are things down there tonight? I'm not sure if tonight or tomorrow, but we have an orange warning for severe weather. Starting at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Okay. Yeah, schools are closed. I've been told to work from home tomorrow due to a massive freezing rain event. It looks like it's going to be many, many centimeters. What does Environment Canada say? Severity. Oh, yeah. Orange warning, freezing rain, severe, significant threat to life or property. Starting at 5 on tomorrow. Total freezing rain amounts of 20 to 30 millimeters. Rain could last up to 24 hours and paralyze some services. So here's the thing. Okay, Greater Montreal, the Outaouais, Lanaudière, Laurentians, Partout Mont-Tremblant, Morrissey, and Quebec City. Conditions will remain cold in subsequent days, which may complicate and delay the full return of normal services. Well, that's also going to complicate the fact that on Thursday we were supposed to have our new windows put in. So maybe that ain't going to happen now, which sucks because we planned our work week around it. Anyway, whatevs. Oh yeah, the reason I was saying that was because I was going to tell you guys, look, if I disappear, it's because, but it's not going to happen until the wee hours of the morning. So I think we should be okay. I did remember to turn off the Wi-Fi. Okay. So I'm doing some things right today. Deep breaths. The first 100 years are the worst. That is true. That is true. Practicing equals building up calluses. Yeah, and like learning 10 songs, right? But yeah. Oh, Christy says next Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day. So yes, I will not be here because I will be rocking and reeling on stage. Can we maybe do Wednesday night? Let me see if I can maybe shift it to Wednesday night. I don't know yet. But thank you for reminding me of that, Christy. I'm not talking his book yet, Destiny. I'm not finishing. I'm afraid there's gonna be spoilers. I keep my eye on you, Destiny. David has finished it. Christy has not finished it. I have not finished it. I think Destiny has. I will work on it. I will get it finished. Steve Ground's popping in, saying hi. How are you doing, Steve? I hope you're having a good night. Or at least I hope you had a good day, because I know your night's going to be great, because, you're here, I'm here, they're here, Everyone's talking. Everyone's being nice. Everyone's saying hi. I will show one Destiny comment. She likes the simple yet effective sentence structure that conjured up beautiful imagery, Carter Ranch, Caleb's toy horse on the plot, etc. Country Boy says, Lower Mainland just got its first snowfall this afternoon. Oh my snap. 2 inches, then it turned to rain. Winter is over here. Yeah. Christy says it's going to hit 105 here next week. Thank God I will be in the mountains where it is cooler. Rented an Airbnb. Yeah, 105. I don't even know what that would be in Celsius, but like what, in the 40s? 41? Something like that? 42? Too hot for me. I don't like the hot. Hike with Mike in the house. How you doing, Mike? How's the weather down there in Florida tonight? Maybe a quick stop on St. Patty's. So St. Patrick's, I'm playing from 2 p.m. till 2 a.m. So probably won't see you guys. Darth Vader in the house again. What a night. How's it going, Mr. Vader? Nice to see you. It's nice to see you back with us these past few weeks. Okay, but you're having the conversation before the rest of us are, so when you're bringing up your points then, we're all going to be like, you already said your piece. We're not listening to you. But yeah, you guys can talk about it since you both read the book. He sure is. He was here last week too, or the week before. It was nice to have him popping in again. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. 40s, yeah. I'm just not sure which 40, because what, 100 is 41, or is it? I can never remember. Mike says it's very nice this time of year. That's cool. Sure as hell ain't going to be nice up here this week. It's in the 70s where Darth Vader is. I believe that would be in the 20s in degrees Canadian. Destiny bought 4 more books today. I would love to have time to read books. Would love it. As a kid who used to be like a book or two a week kind of guy, I do miss having the time to sit back and read. So I do have a whiskey for 10 o'clock. This is a very pedestrian whiskey. It's like 42% or something. But I should be drinking more pedestrian 40% or 42% whiskeys for these live streams, because I'm not paying enough attention to the whiskey to really get full enjoyment out of it. Also, went to the doctor, and I need to bring down my booze intake, even though it's not really high. Like you guys see almost all my intake, but I have some like cholesterol and stuff issues, unrelated boring stuff because I'm 53, but I'm gonna cut my already pretty moderate intake. I'm gonna cut that in half, so I'm gonna have 1 dram tonight. I mean, I have to change all kinds of things, like sodium, carbs. I mean, many things, but it's just booze is one of those things. Hey, there's Grace. How you doing, Grace? Forgot to mention that Christy is a channel hero, by the way. Country Boy says liver schmiver. I got a I want to see my kids graduate, and I have some issues that I got to deal with. It sucks to be old. Definitely sucks to be old. Isaac Scott says, no one likes a quitter. I didn't say I was quitting. I just said I was cutting it down a bit. Bum, bum, bum. So, aside from Chris's book, which we haven't all finished yet, so we're not talking about. Country Boy says, I saw my kids graduate. It was no big deal. I'm just trying to imagine my kids graduating, like trying to imagine them as adults. I mean, high school, whatever. I mean, Cody's 14, so she's 2 years from graduating high school, but it's the other things. Isaac says, seriously, your mixing videos were very entertaining. Yeah, I'm not going to stop them. It's just I tend to plan to do like 2 cocktails, and then I end up doing 6. And like maybe if I just stuck to 2 and actually spent more time talking about them, or what I would like to do is actually plan them ahead of time, so that and tell people what I'm going to do, so that if they want, they can get some ingredients and we can all mix together. I just never plan them. You know? Like, I'd like to be at the point where I can plan them. But I would probably... If I'm doing that, I should probably be doing it on my whiskey channel rather than my bushcraft channel. Probably, yeah. Yeah, because what happens right now is, like, I started doing the cocktail lives on this channel sort of as a members only thing, and I forgot to do that a few times. But like, Isaac, you know exactly where I was about to go. Whiskey and bushcraft are hand in glove. They absolutely are. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Hang with Mike goes to graduation every year for 25 years as a high school teacher. I go to an elementary graduation every year as the chair of the governing board for an elementary school. But it's different when it's your kids, right? Yeah, did I show this? Just making sure that everyone sees that comment, because it's absolutely true. What you're saying is absolutely solid. Country boy. I had cars and motorcycles to buy, and going to school didn't pay for those things. Excuse me. Well, I mean, after high school, when I went to Cégep, I was in graphic design first, and then I realized I really did not like being a graphic designer, so I transitioned into creative arts. Like, I took a script writing course, and in graphic design, I did some photography, and the photography course plus the script writing course, and I did a lot of film studies stuff, made me think that when I transitioned from Cégep into university, that I'm going to film school. And what I actually went to Concordia University in communications. I was lucky because there are 2 schools in Canada for communications. One is Concordia and one is Simon Fraser. And even though, like, my dad lived in Vancouver, it was just way more affordable. And I had a snowball's chance in hell of being accepted to either of them. So I just rolled the bones and got in at Concordia. And so what happens in communications is you specialize in TV or film or like PR or radio. And I think there's something else. There's like a joint communications journalism degree as well. Anyway, so I did the film production stream. But here's the thing, right? Like for everyone who gets through film school, there's at least one or two other people who just volunteered on films and learned on sets, right? So who comes out on top, really? It's hard to say. Hey, with Mike says, our little rural high school basketball team is going to the final 4 games up against big, powerful urban schools, hoping for a miracle this week. Reminds me of the movie Hoosiers. Yeah, unfortunately, Cody's team did not make the finals this year. The basketball finals. Good run, but, you know. Tea is a good drink. I do love me some tea. I also have water. Oh, man, my sinuses. I don't know why I'm telling you about that. Oh, yeah, because one of you said that you wanted to buy cars and motorcycles instead of going to school. Beto, how are you doing? How's the weather down there? How's everything? David says that Pam is reading the book now. She's a book reading maniac. Just Chris did a great job. Everyone's just saying hi to each other, so I'm skipping past that. Skipping on past. Oh, it's all just people saying hi to each other. Oh, hey, Carol's here. How are you doing, Carol? Isaac, so do you actually do bushcrafting? What Scandi grind do you prefer? Okay, yes. I usually do. Life's just been in the way for the past couple of years. In fact, it's driving me crazy. I was saying to the peeps here that I don't even watch a lot of bushcraft videos anymore because it just reminds me that I'm just not getting out there these days. So yeah, I definitely prefer like a Scandi grind over any other grinds. I like a Scandi that doesn't have a micro bevel on it. I like it to be, and that's purely because I know that if you have that little micro bevel, then that's actually a little stronger. But I like my sharpening to be as simple as possible. I have a couple of knives that are convex. And for the longest time, I was like, I'm not buying convex. I fear the sharpening. But it's actually not that bad. I mean, you have to sort of learn it, but it's not actually that bad. I've said several times on this, I've got a Groman number 4. That's a Scandi grind. Is that a Saber? No, it's a Scandi. But I wish it was a flat grind because I want it. The shape of it makes it a perfect camp kitchen knife for me. I really wish I'd gone and gotten my box of knives. I don't want to step off. Peanut. Okay, what's a Scandi grind? Okay. Tell me right now. Do you guys mind if I step off stage to go and get my box of knives so I can start answering questions? Because, like, hold on. This is not enough to answer those questions. Tell me right now. Everyone say yes or no. Yes to go and get them, or no, don't go get them. See, go. One more vote. That's fine with me. Okay, I'll be right back. I think I think I'm missing something from this box. And I didn't mean to bring my fire kit. Actually, is this my fire kit or is this one Cody's? Mine. But we're not talking about fire kit right now. All right. Thank you for the great question, Isaac, because now I have an excuse to play with my knives. So I will definitely not be opening the whiskey yet. Hold on. Just let me go back and make sure I'm not missing. I said hi to Carol, right? Yes. Fitzy thinks that Chris should hook up and get some shows made. Destiny's asking, how am I preparing for the upcoming storm? Love storms. I guess I'm not really preparing properly. Like I showed you guys that big battery pack I had, but the battery in it no longer works. So I'm just really, I got candles, I got lanterns, got a little cooking stove out, but in terms of like serious prepping, I don't have anything yet. I keep talking to the madame about, no, I keep meaning to talk to the madame about getting a generator. So, okay, a Scandi is, was it Chris that, hold on, let me, excuse me. He was asking if Marcus EDMA is here. I haven't seen him. He might pop in. Isaac, do you get the Moras? Yes. Yes. Here's one. This is a very basic one. I don't remember what this model is. Oh, it says on the back. Markneve Basic 546. I don't even remember why I bought this. I think it was for one of my kids. Like just in case, you know. I always like to have a Mora in my bag as a just in case knife in case I lose or break my main knife. Where is my... Okay. Garberg. I mean, I have the rest of the sheath down here, but we don't care about that. What we care about is Scandi grind. I think it was Chris asked what a Scandi grind is. Hold on. Yes. Pin trigger. What's a Scandi grind? This. So, for a true Scandi, it's just that angle right there. No secondary bevel, even though secondary bevel does make it stronger. It's, come on, foo. Focus. I gotta hide my face, I think. We gonna focus or what? We gonna focus? What the hell, stupid camera? There we go. So there, that's a Scandi grind. If that bevel came halfway up to about there, then that would be a saber grind. And the reason I love it is because to sharpen it, you just lay it on the stone or whatever you're using, and there's no magic to it. Flat back, you know. Yeah, these Garbergs are not quite as cheap as some of the others. Like that Bushcraft Basic I showed you. I think that was like a $12 knife. This was my first convex. OGs have seen this. This is my current camp kitchen knife. Okay. It's just round. Mini Nesmic. What's his name? White? Jack White? No, not Jack White. He's a guitar player. Someone White. What the hell's his name? Anyways, a special edition he made for Bushcraft USA. I think they were like $55 at the time. Someone White. Anyways, he's not even doing it anymore. He had a an apprentice come in and who eventually took over the business. Someone white. Jeez, I don't remember his name. Get some cheese. I had a lot of cheese with supper because I made fajitas. Yes, David, we're talking kniefs. Talking kniefs. Oh, I have not had moose in a couple of years. I do love me some moose. Oh, just to remind you guys, remember this knife that I handled and made a sheath for Cody? That was so much fun. I had such a blast making that. I think I made episodes about it. It was so good. And I miss that guy. He was so nice. My first bushcraft knife. My second bushcraft knife. My first one, well, actually, I accidentally bought two. I told you guys about this, right? I accidentally bought this and the Garber Bear Grylls Ultimate, same day. I kept this one just because it makes a good shop pry bar. The Bear Grylls, I didn't like the steel, but ergonomically it was actually much better than I thought it was going to be. I think this is a scan. No, this is a big, brutish. You know, it's funny because a lot of people will say, "Am I close enough to the mic?" A lot of people will say that, you know, the difference between a bushcraft knife and a survival knife is marketing. Nope. No way. No way. That is a terrible bushcraft geometry. Terrible. Biggest problem is this right here. I mean, that's great for cutting through rope or the side of a helicopter because that's what these are designed for. But for everything else, well, I mean, cutting through the shell of a helicopter is not bushcraft, right? But cutting rope might be. It's a terrible knife for all that stuff. But I didn't even know, you know, I didn't even know what the word bushcraft really meant yet. I was always a guy who liked being in the outdoors and camping and playing with some kind of primitive skills, but I didn't connect that to bushcraft yet. I'd never seen Ray Mears before. I knew who Bear Grylls was, not a bushcrafter. I knew who Les Stroud was, but even he sort of lives more in the survival / Bigfoot world. I came across, I was watching YouTube and I came across a video by Bushcraft Bartons, who I have discovered is no longer on YouTube. But he was the first YouTube bushcrafter I watched. And it's through him that I sort of developed a sense of this. Now, the knives I used were nothing like this. This is one of my favorite of my knives. This is not a pretty knife, okay? It's not. This is the Fellkniven F1, right? Dead simple, very, very basic. Classic, though, okay? Also, a convex. And I think I now have 3 convex knives. And the one I learnt first to sharpen on was that Mini Nesmic. And then on this one. And I think this Victorinox, no, that's a flat grind, but with a secondary bevel on it. I don't love secondary bevels, man. Nice knife, though, and it's sharp as hell. Whoops. Get in there now. Isaac does, again, say the truth. You never need an excuse to play with your knives. That's true. We can just do it for the joy, right? Just the enjoyment. Oh, yeah. No, so this was my second bushcraft knife and my first custom. For your second knife, that may be a little early to go for a custom, but I'm... I didn't mute in time. Sorry, folks. There's dust down here. So this is made in Australia. I wet formed the sheath myself. This is my first time doing it. I did this years and years ago. It's a woodlore clone. Woodlore is probably my favorite bushcraft knife shape. Can't afford them. If I was to get one, I would want a jacklore rather than the original woodlore. I just think that Sandy Jack's work is spectacular, and he's got a good energy. Sorry, guys. Now the one, so this is a Campbell, Jeb Campbell in Australia. I don't think he's doing it anymore. I tried to look him up again. No presence online. It's got a little bit of schmutz from inside the sheath on it, but we're all friends here. Yeah, there's his. So the one way in which it's not a full-on woodlore or jacklore clone is the Coke bottle handle is not round. See, it's sort of slab-sided. When I first got it, I was like, hey. But the nice thing about flat-sided scales is that you don't have to look at it to know that you've just picked it up right side up. I'm not in any way back on the idea of grabbing for your knife without looking, but what I'm saying is, like, if you're doing, like, there's almost zero chance with something like this to get it, like, turned in your hand. So, Cold Steel Canadian belt knife. How many of you have been watching me long enough to know about you can't baton with a Canadian belt knife, dude? How many of you have been watching me long enough to remember that? This was a $12 knife. It's currently a $40 knife. I would not spend $40 on this. And the reason I bought this knife was because the ergos of that Grohmann number 1, that is very often called a Canadian belt knife, are so weird that I wanted one because, you know, Canadiana, but I didn't want to spend that much money only to discover that it was just no good in the hand. And so that's why I bought the Cold Steel that I put down and now can't find. Right, like if you look at that handle, does that look ergonomic to you? I mean, give me a break, right? But it is. Right? This knife was comfortable. Oops. This knife was comfortable enough that based on this knife, I bought this knife. No regrets. I love having this. Because this is to Canada what like the Nesmith or the Kephart are to American outdoorsmen, right? Looks super weird. The entire design phase happened in conjunction with hunters and trappers in the Canadian North. Perfect. My comfort zone is a 4-inch blade, sort of woodlore shape, saber grind or better, Scandi. This is shorter than that, and it's a weird shape, but I love this. I love this. And then based on this, I went and got the number 4, which is the one that I wish I had as a flat grind. Remember, I got it as a kit knife, so I handled this one myself. I mean, the scales came in the kit. All the parts came. You know, all you need to do is stick it together and then sand because it comes a little rough, right? So this is a saber, I think. I think that's called a saber grind. Very nice, very robust. I mean, this is a heavier knife than the number 1. This is a thicker knife, which you can't see. Hold on, I'm trying to... There we go, right? One day, I'm going to get one in a flat grind. Stainless, I think a kitchen... I'm a big fan of carbon steel, but for a kitchen knife, that's got to be a stainless for me. knife kit. That's this one. I'm trying to keep my boxes straight here. Excuse me. Chrissy says, no cheese. He's trying to lower his cholesterol. Oh, yeah. And my sodium intake. David says they're getting 2 to 5 millimeters of ice accretion at the lake tomorrow. Yes, they are perfect backup knives. Absolutely. I've got a couple of Moras. No, I don't. I have a few. So this is the, what's this, a robust, is it? Robust, shorter blade than one would think. And what's weird about the robust is, look at how the spine is not ground. I don't know why they do that for the robust. I mean, it looks cool. It's just you're not doing ferro rod work on that, right? He said with the knowledge of experience. But I think the companion is the Mora that most people. Whoops! No, this is my chisel. Hold on. I do not know where my companion is. Context is key with a statement like that. Oh, here's my here's that Ukrainian knife. That was it BPS? Yeah, or BSP. It's a Scandi grind, but it's a little shallower than I'm used to on a Scandi. It looks dirty. It's just because I've got a crap ton of oil on it. I like to keep my knives oiled up good while they're in their sheaths or in the boxes, because this basement, there's a wicked crack in the foundation. So whenever it rains, there's a lot of moisture in here. So I like to keep a whole crap ton of oil on my blades, even my stainless ones. Maybe that doesn't have to happen, but is that everything? I think so. I feel like I'm missing one, aside from the companion. Let me catch up with what you guys are saying, because if somebody is asking for a closer look at one, I'm missing that. To me, I don't think Scandi grind should have a micro bevel, but I see a lot of knives called Scandis that do now. And I think it's just because I think it's just because if you're selling knives, you might want to put that micro on there so that they don't chip or roll or anything, because someone's going to think that's a knife quality issue rather than a very, very thin edge issue, right? But to me, a true Scandi does not have a micro bevel. In fact, I have seen the term true Scandi up here and there. You mean like this little, yeah, these guys, the Grumman #1 and that Cold Steel? I did a giveaway with a Cold Steel. I was so impressed by that knife that I gave. Christy, are you the one who won the Cold Steel? When I did the giveaway? Nobody does giveaways on YouTube anymore, right? Like, for a long time, I did a bunch of them, and like, it seemed that most of the people I was following were all doing giveaways here, giveaways there, and I haven't seen a lot of those anymore. But yeah, so I think the #1 is, I don't know, it's like 130, 140 Canadian, I think, something like that. Depending on the handle, on the scales. I went for the rosewood because I'm a classicist. I wanted the original, like with no bells and whistles. So it's the original sheath. Is it the best sheath in the universe? It's the original sheath designed for this knife. That's why I wanted it. I wanted rosewood because that's what it originally came with. Did I take this in stainless or carbon? I think this one's a carbon. Yes, number one in carbon, because I love me some carbon. But yeah, so depending on your handle material and whether or not it's on sale or blah, blah. Norse inspired. Is that the, you mean this one? Isaac, is this the one you're talking about that looks Norse inspired? Because yeah, this is actually this was made in Finland, by Saku Honkilati, who was a knife maker. I pinged him. I said, "Can you make something small? I want to give a knife to my daughter, and I want to do it as a kit." And he made me pay almost nothing, or he threw in a bunch of extras or something, because I was passing the love on to the next generation. Gerber, you're from Oregon. Okay. That's a nice part of the country. Actually, have I been through Oregon? I've been through Washington State. I've been to Southern California. That was on a work trip, though. Have I been through Oregon? Like some of those states, I'm not exactly sure how they fit together. I may not have been to Oregon, actually. I'm sure it's a beautiful state anyway. The Bigfoot thing was an anomaly. Consider it a brain fart. Yeah, I don't know what the hell he was. I was like, Les, what the hell are you doing, man? What the hell are you doing? Is this? No, that's the chisel again. Cool little knife, man. Cheap as chips. It's a chisel that I don't mind if it gets dinged a little bit. For the longest time, I was more averse. Not because I'd ever had one, but because I'd heard so much, like on Bushcraft USA and all that, of people saying, "Look, man, they're so cheap that if you break one, you just throw it away and get a new one." And I have never liked disposable culture. Right? I hate the idea of so cheap you can just throw one away and get a new one. Like, so I was like, nope. And then one day I was like, I gotta know. I gotta know why these things are so popular. Because everyone kept saying, "Man, for the price, they're amazing," and that's true. For the price, they're amazing. And they make an excellent backup knife to have in your bag all the time, as a just in case thing for sure. And I mean, based on those, when the Garberg came out, I was like, "Phew, that's a lot of money for a Mora." But I gotta know. And it's a great knife. And they have brought up some. How many of you guys know about their Black Blade series? They had, like, I think a birch scales or wooden scales, black blades. Oh my God, they're gorgeous. But I cannot bring myself to spend that kind of money on a Mora. Which is too bad, because there's one of those that is designed as a camp kitchen cleaver. And that one makes me a little weak in the knees, for sure. Is that what they're called? The Black Blade series? I'm just gonna go to their website and get us that info. Mora kniv. Mora kniv. Swedish craftsmanship since 1891. Okay. Oh yeah, and so they've got two new lines out this year called the Amberg and the Riesberg. Amberg are more expensive than the Riesberg. The Riesberg is just kind of like a beginner-friendly knife. The Amberg is a little more high-end. Not super expensive. If I didn't already have a bunch of Moras, I would go for it. But because I actually already have a bunch of Moras, I'm like, no. If I break one and have to replace one, it definitely the Amberg. Not a whole lot of differences between those and just your standard Mora kniv, but some cooler colors, better handle materials, and there are actually a couple of new blade geometries. In fact, want me to do a screen share with you guys? Want me to do a screen share? Share in 1080p? Yes, just share the damn screen.
fool. There you go. So this is the Amberg, okay. So that's stainless or carbon. I do not like a black blade, with the exception of that black blade series, okay. So you'll note that the scale, the handle right here looks a little different. And that is, hold on, because of the new sheath design, which looks very good. It sort of clicks in much, much better than the old sheath design does. Does, because they're still available. These are an upcharge. And they got some nice new colors, but they don't seem to have any of the nice new colors on the website yet. I'm looking for... These are not the colors I'm looking for. Huh. Do not like that blue, I gotta tell you. So where are the other colors? Or maybe... I gotta tell you, the cans bowl, I do not like the cans bowl. That weird scoop out of the blade, do not like that at all. Anyway, so that's the Amberg. Oh, I know why. Because they're not all available yet. There's a couple of like flat grinds and I guess a couple of colors and stuff that are not available yet. Garber Grand, I didn't even know that thing existed. Okay, so what am I? Yeah, these guys. These look at this. But like 170, 180 US. Nope. Look at this. I mean, come on. That is Jesse Kryptonite. That is Jesse Kryptonite in the biggest way. Also, I like this little fin black blade. That looks cool. But like, there's only so much you can spend on knives. Well, look who I'm talking to, right? But very nice. Just taking a look to see if there's anything else kind of. But yeah, and so that's what I was thinking of when I was, before I got distracted. The Rombo black blade is a small chef's knife for outdoor cooking. Ashwood, that's it. Okay, Ashwood, not birch. No, because the Scandinavians, if it's birch, it's going to be curly birch, right? Love it. Would absolutely. The thing is, that's like a $210 knife in Canada. Depending on how the dollars go over the next little while, but even if that was Canadian, that's still a lot of money. I mean, I have a box full of knives. It's just that the perfect camp kitchen knife is still sort of a hole in my toolkit. And that doesn't come with a sheath, I don't think. But yeah, it's very nice. But like, it needs to have a sheath for sure. So, even if it was Canadian, right? 180. Plus I have to make a sheath. I'd make a leather sheath because hell yeah. Wooden handle. Yes. But yeah. Hold on. Isaac says, aren't convex bevels extremely difficult to sharpen? It takes more. Oh, hold on, I guess I don't have to be sharing this anymore. It took me longer to learn how to do it. Sharpening my axes very much helped me get the skills to do the knives, for sure. Absolutely. The reason I started on the little mini Nesmith is because that was a $55 knife rather than like a big ticket knife. I did not want to learn on something that was going to really hurt me if I buggered it, you know. Just what did each of the knives retail for, or range of prices? So my most affordable knife is the Morris. I mean, the Garberg at the time that I bought it was, I think, 160 or something Canadian. No, it was 150. They're more than that now. My most expensive knife. I don't know. I mean, technically, it might be. This was dead affordable. This fully custom knife, Desert Ironwood scales, was like 190 Canadian, plus shipping from Australia. It was my most expensive knife, guys. Maybe the Garberg, 150. Although I think this Victorinox, especially because I bought this extra stupidness, that might have been more. Yeah, all my knives are sort of on the affordable side. Like, I don't have any of those $600, monsters. If I were to buy a really nice multi-$100 knife, I would try to get a Jacklor, but he's not selling outside the UK anymore. And even when he was, he posts he would post 4 knives on his website, and they were all gone within 5 minutes. So. But yeah, I haven't checked them against today's prices, but that $12 cold steel is now a $40 Canadian knife. So, about 30 to probably like 210. The knives that I keep telling you guys I would love to have right now, they're creeping up to like almost $300. Even those are not, they're not high-end knives, right? Those are not high-end knife prices. They're just higher end than I can really spend on a year when I'm not getting to the damn woods. Depending on the purpose, a knife can be many different shapes, but if you need to prepare, skin, debone, food, everyone has different likes. Everyone does have different likes, for sure. Absolutely. If you've ever field dressed a deer, you understand. I have field dressed several deer. I have definitely field dressed my share of deer. Homie in the house. Speaking of knives, I was just showing off my knives, Mr. Homie. How are you doing tonight? Homie's got a lot of nice knives. Country Boy says, my field dressing and skinning knife is a 4-inch buck folder. It just feels right and it's an extension of my hand. I don't have to think, it just happens. My sort of father-in-law, the partner of my mother-in-law, he's old school. He uses a buck, not a folder, but he's got a buck belt knife for his field dressing needs. What did I use? Which of these knives did I use? I think it was the F1. It's weird that I do not remember what knife I used for field dressing whitetails. Why am I blanking on that? Oh well, moving right along. I think it was the F1 because that one does not slip in your hand when it gets wet because of that, whatever that handle material is. A good knife to start with, Your starter knife should always be a Scandi grind 4-inch blade. I would say a Mora, but something full tang, because that way, the reason I always say a 4 inches is for the following reason. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Did Christy tell me and I just missed it because I was too busy blibbing and blabbing? Hold on. Let me skip on down. Oh, David says the Groman number 4. That's a pretty solid choice too, actually. I was gonna go. I was gearing up to say something like the F1, though that's too expensive for a beginner's knife. But yeah, that number 4 would be a good. It's a weird shape for certain things that I like to do. But hold on, let me just make sure. Canadian says there's a reason we carry a couple of options, one in the woods. That is true, absolutely. Who else is having a whiskey with me? One dram tonight, people. Now, this is a 12-year, but it's been open for months, so I'm not going to worry about a minute in the glass per year in the cask. So, hold on. Yes, exactly. If you're going to be... Okay, and I was going to say, the reason I say a 4-inch... you guys remember a few weeks ago I had Mike Morton on to talk about winter camping. His comfort zone is a 3-inch knife. For me, it's a 4-inch because there are cases where I want to baton a small log into kindling or something. And I'm going to do this before I take a sip. 4-inch blade. I don't have any sticks or anything, but you can lay it across the log. I'm not going to touch my hand, okay, but you lay it across. You sort of, and you take another, when I say log, I mean like a, 2 or 3 inch, okay? We're not talking about anything big, okay? And then you take another stout stick, and so you've put this on. That was close. I almost cut myself for the second time on screen. If you guys remember that scar right there. No, it's not even visible. Never mind. And then with your big stick, you pound here. Like this is overhanging the end of the stick. Okay? So that's why I say I don't like to go smaller than a 4-inch blade, because there are times, and I say this as someone who loves the axe infinitely more than any knife. There are times when you're going to have more control if you're battening with a knife than trying to whappity whap with even a small axe, right? You can baton an axe with an axe as well, though, right? You lay the axe on and you, right? So like something small like this is perfect for that. But nowadays I keep this as a carving axe. I don't go into the woods with a tiny axe. I just have a 4-inch blade so that if I need to baton, I can use that. But it's small enough, it's short enough that it's not going to get caught up in stuff. Like some people I know, got to have a chopper, right? Got to have a 5-7-inch blade. To me, that's just too much knife. I don't use a knife that way. So to me, something chopper sized, it's a waste. Jim's on the horn, heading home. See you all in 30-ish. Safe drive home, Jim. And we'll see you in about a half hour. Yeah, the number 4. Okay, yeah. Would this make a good beginner knife, a good entry knife? For the price, sure. This is like, what, $170 or something? Here's the reason why I would say maybe not. Because it's got a micro bevel on it, right? It's a saber grind with a micro bevel. And you see it's got a very slight curve there, right? So it's not going to be the simplest knife to sharpen that you've ever tried to sharpen. That's for sure. This one I hone much more than I sharpen or I strop, because the more you hone and strop, the less you actually have to sharpen. And by the way, that's a best practice, because when you actually sharpen, what you're doing is removing metal with your stones or sandpaper, or like however you like to sharpen your knives. You're removing metal every time you straight up sharpen. So you should be honing or stropping the crap out of your knives, because they make your sharpening job last longer, because they reinforce the edge. When you're stropping, what you're doing is, if you look at the edge like microscopically, you'll see that it's full of all these little kind of like jagged hairs, okay? And they get kind of out of whack as you use the knife. But when you strop it, you realign them all. So what that does is it keeps the quality of your edge for longer. Hold on. Oh yeah, Jim got one for sure. Yeah, right. And Jim and Christy, yeah. Isaac says thousands of people have channels. Okay, I didn't know that they were still doing that, but you never win because there's thousands of people watching. Yeah, bigger channels, it's a lot harder to win something with. Okay, I'm not unsheathing any more knives because I'm about to have a sip of my whiskey. Yes, definitely time to post it. You still have the videos? Yeah, post it. Why not? Christy says it's my desk and I open Amazon packages with it. Legit choice. I mean, I didn't send it to you guys with any kind of stipulations, right? Use it for whatever you want. Davey, yes, you do. I don't know where Russell is. Maybe he's tired of my live streams. You need to have a Groma #1. Everyone in Canada needs a Groma #1. Who are the latest master craftsmen of bushcraft knives? I don't even know. If you want to be really up on that stuff, there's a forum called Bushcraft USA, and in fact, there's a sub section of that for Canada. But like all the big names post there. Because like I would have said Adventure Sworn, he makes, or among other things now, but he makes Woodlore clones. Very nice work. Very much the same as the Jacklores. Do you want me to like pull up some sites here? Let's see if Adventure Sworn is still around. Because his work seemed to be exquisite. Yep, he's still there. Okay, so I'll share the screen. Bum, 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 bum. So here's Adventure Sworn, okay? Custom Bushcraft Knife Shop in upstate New York. Okay, here's his available knives. He also makes buck saws. Scrambled O bought one of his buck saws. They're not cheap, but it kind of broke on him, so he was pissed off. Actually, these prices are not that bad. Anyway, so as you can see, very, very Woodlore or Jacklore, like exactly. And it's funny because this guy's from upstate New York, but the Woodlore is the most British of bushcraft knives. That design could not have come from the United States any more than the Nessmuk could have come from the UK. This is absolutely like a Royal Britannia knife design. But I mean, he does a great job, and I mean, there are people all over the place making Nesmics now, right? I mean, these knives don't remain. It's like I'm talking the Grumman #1 being like peak Canadiana, but the Cold Steel one, that's okay. It's made in China, I think, but Cold Steel is not a Canadian company, right? That's an American company. Yeah, he's very specialized in pretty much just that shape, it seems. That's a white one. These prices are a lot more. They're a lot more than they were when I was looking at this guy's work. But I mean, compared to what a lot of other prices have gone to, these are still pretty reasonable. Like $400 Canadian. So that's going to be what, like 350, 380 US. Do they maybe not come with sheaths anymore? Oh no. Okay, choose your sheath. No sheath. Okay, right. So 55 extra, up to 75 extra. If yeah, okay. Just as a matter of interest, Jackalope. No, not Jackalope. Or Jackalope's. No, Jackalore. It's funny because that's one of his videos. Okay, hold on. Yeah, there you go, Jackalore. Click here to see the knives available now page. Yeah. Now he started off doing only Woodlore clones, and he's really branched out. He's got little ones now and big ones, but like it's now just UK buyers only, right? And his work is exquisite. It's absolutely exquisite, and he has like distal taper on his knives as an option. If I went 30 mil, I'll go to the UK and ask him for a knife. He doesn't take orders anymore though. Like he's just makes them, puts them up, and people snap them up. It's like Rickenbacker bases. They don't have to do a thing to update their designs or anything because every single base they make, they know is sold. He's got a lot of designs now. But like this was the original right here. The classic bushcraft knife. Then he came out with the camp knife, which is also very cool. But I'm a classicist, you know? You know? I'm a classicist. Oregon. Okay. You need to join us on a knife buying night. I'm not doing any knife buying nights for a while. Chisel grinds are the most practical shape for life. Chisel are a lot rarer for sure. I have a set of kitchen knives that are they're chisel ground. Canadians everyday pocket knife is a Swiss Army. You know, toothpick, tweezers, 2 blades, can opener, fits in watch pocket on jeans, and had it since '95. I had a Swiss Army knife when I was a kid, and I don't know where the hell it went. I would like to get one, actually. I think that's the nicest format for a multi-tool. Like, I've got a couple of Leathermans or whatever as well, but they're cool. But the Swiss Army knife is a classic for a reason. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see that, but yeah, I did pour. I was late, but you know, what else? Yeah, homie, they do. I sort of went into them. Yeah, I think they're really cool, but it's not. Because I've already got Moros, they're not cooler enough to make me reach for my wallet, unless I destroy one of my Moros, in which case I would replace it with one of those instead of the same model. Yes, bushcraftcanada.com is I have bought many things from there, and they actually have some pretty substantial Canadian brands on there too, for like knives, but also some of the bigger American or international brands like Joker or what the hell is it? You know, they make the gunny and stuff like that. Oh, what the hell's that brand called? Oh, I don't remember. No, I do know who they are, but the name is stupid brain. Um, yep, I'm not touching the knives now. We're good. Once the whiskey comes out, the blades go away. Oh, you got the Rombo in your cart. What you're talking about right there is what I do now. Like when I've got sort of the urge for retail therapy or immediate what's it called, instant gratification. I put it in my cart and I don't touch it. I go back 24 hours later, and it's amazing how often taking that day, that 24 hours is like, I don't need this. I'm spending so much less money because of doing that, you know. Yeah, I think that it's a lot of money. I mean, I have other things, other videos I want to make. If I'm going to be spending money, it's going to be on that moose knife I told you guys about, so that I can do my. So I can do my Nesmic Trio series. I'm not taking it out of the sheath, but you guys have been watching me for a while will know I've showed this from a Bushcraft Canada page. That's my Nesmic. So once I can afford the it's like 60 US plus shipping, the moose, is it called the moose pattern? Then I'm going to do my Nesmic Trio series. So I'm hoping that I can make that happen this summer. I mean, I know I'm not spending money, and then I do every now and again spend money. But I was talking to David the Instigator about that series, and he's like, get the knife, make the video, we want to see it. So I'm like, oh, okay. I think that's going to be a fun video to make, and I'm really aching to get back into making some actual videos. This magnesium, by the way. That pill, that was magnesium. I was told to take magnesium every night because it helps my ADHD meds. Oh yeah, that Rombo is beautiful. There's Serge. Serge, your brother likes larger knives. He likes a 5 to 7. And he's got some choppers too, now that I'm thinking about it. Destiny likes that link. There's a lot of really great stuff there, by the way. I mean, you can get lost in that site for a couple of hours. Destiny says, next live, we need to see Jess in a leather wingback chair, a wall of knives behind him, a mocktail in his hand, a charcuterie board of meats and cheeses to his right, a blankie on his shoulders, a kitty on my lap, dog at my feet, fire in the corner. arched window with a blue spruce outside. Sunset. Excuse me. Christie's having an Evan Williams. Saving the Woodford Reserve Double Oak that Steve got me for your birthday. What are you saving it for? You're kicking back with friends. Yeah, the Double Oak is intense for sure. Yeah. It makes a crazy good old fashioned though. Okay, Scott, can anyone tell you how to respond to someone's comment? Okay, so if I'm going to respond to your comment, like you can't quote them, but what I'm doing here, I'm going to say hi to you in the chat. Okay, I do at mark or whatever arrobas is called in English. At mark at sign. You know the at commercial, and then I start writing your name. It's not working because I'm not doing it in YouTube. I'm doing it in this app. Hold on. I'm going to go to YouTube. And I'm going to hit the wrong damn button. Tabernacle. Okay, I'm going to the YouTube chat. Okay, so Isaac, I'm going at, and I'm starting to write your name, making sure that I'm why isn't it working? Okay, at Mark, and then you start typing someone's name, and their name should just pop up for you to, so that you can just auto-complete. What? Hold on. Let me try this again here, people. Let me try 8 acres. Weird. Okay, 8 acres pops up. Oh, Isaac, are you subscribed? Like, does somebody have to be subscribed for the at thing to work? Anyways, okay. Long story short, you can't quote somebody, but you can do at and then their name. And then whatever you type, they're going to see in a different color. So like you'll be able to speak directly to them. I mean, we're all going to see it, but like they will make sure that they know, it'll make sure that they notice you because their name pops up in a different color for them. Canadian. And don't be wearing fancy patent leather shoes in Le Bush, okay? I don't even have any patent leather. Sip a moose crap or slip on the forest floor. Who would wear patent leather in the woods? Oh, Christie's answering as well. Okay. Yeah, you put the whatever at mark and then their name. Isaac is testing it. Yeah, so just do that and their name, and then you can say, yeah. Oh no. We're back to, oh, it jumped up again. Why? Why does it do this? Okay, I'm going to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. Okay. I'm pretty sure it did work. I'm pretty sure it did. She probably saw it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Christy says, yeah. She'll see it. Anyone you speak to will see their name highlighted, but no one else will. Some people strop with an old pair of blue jeans. I've never tried it. Yes, that is true. I had a friend who used to strop his razor like that. I have stropped my razor like that. Country Boy says, I hone, then strop after every use. My knives last me a long time. I only sharpen when absolutely necessary. Yep, absolutely. That is an ideal policy. Yeah, well, glad to be of assistance, Isaac. No, Canadian's out. Sleep well, mister. Yeah, after 11 o'clock, I'm shutting her down, and I'm headed to bed. I'm doing a few last things and going to bed, because often, what I do often after these live streams is someone said something that I want to look up, or I have a knife site open or something from the conversation, and I start like looking at stuff, and then I'm going to bed at like 2. But I want to be in bed by midnight tonight. So once we're done, I'm not touching any websites. I'm putting the computer to sleep. Yeah, doing my nightly journal, brushing my teeth, and going to bed. Yeah, nice choice, country boy. I'm gonna try to get another bottle of that while I'm out in Alberta. David has a D.H. Russell knife that is very similar to the Grumman number 1. That's what the Grumman number 1 is. Right? The D.H. Russell is the originator. I don't want to pull this out right now, but I won't pull it all the way, but yeah, mine says Grumman D.H. Russell number 1 carbon. So you do have one. You just have you have a classic one. You have a vintage one, which is better in my opinion. Hold on a second here. Everything jumped. Oh, David's bouncing early. Busy day tomorrow, wrapping up loose ends. All right, good night, mister. Although I'm way late, I think. Oh, I'm not that late. I'm 8 minutes late. Serge, Alain has all. Yeah, I remember. Didn't we do an episode where we looked at a whole bunch of his knives? I'm looking for Serge's message. What did you message me on? Because I think, didn't you say he got me a BPS knife, I think like 2 years ago. I remember that. Nice. The DBK design one. Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, that bugs me about watching these lives on a cell phone. I wish the @mark worked on the cell phone, because I watch a lot of Russell's lives on the cell phone, and when I'm trying to @ somebody, I'm like, oh no. Yeah, where'd you send it? If I had its 2 sons. Oh, I think I know. Yeah. Yeah, it's so nice. Oh no, that shows your name. No, it's not. There we go. That's such a nice knife. And it came with the ferro rod, right? Did I ever see this one in person, or did you just show me a picture of it, Serge? Bird is known for its truck nuts and Tabor corn. I remember the first time I saw truck nuts, and I will admit I got pretty judgy. But yeah, the Tabor corn, and that's the whole thing. That whiskey is like, it's made literally with Tabor corn. It's a corn whiskey made with Tabor corn, and it's delish. Next time I'm in Alberta, I want to actually go to the Bridgeland Distillery, because my fiddle player lives a 5-minute drive. A little more than that, but it ain't far. And we've never made that part of the trip. I have in Calgary a Kensington Wine Market exclusive bottle of theirs that is very high octane. And in fact, I think I like the slightly less high octane version better, because with the bottle I have, like, if you don't take a really long time with it, the alcohol, like, it's just like 68% or something awfully high, and it kind of overtakes the flavor a bit. The nuts drive the trucks. I love it. Seen some crazy stuff out there. Yeah, I think you're right, Seth. I think it was just the photo. So nice. And is it like a 4-inch blade? It looks to be essentially the same size as mine. Yours looks a lot nicer though. Like, mine's a basic $45 knife. Solid, absolutely solid, no regrets. But when that model came out, I was like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, rod and everything. Yeah. Has it been out? Have you been out working it on the farm or anything? I should go pitch a tent on Sales's land. I don't think he's got forest. I think he's just got farm though. I may be remembering that wrong. I would really like to find a piece of land to pitch a tent or a semi-permanent shelter on though. I think, like, I was doing more videos when, like, we had the hunting land and I didn't have to worry about finding a place to go. Yeah, I think I'm just going to need to get a lot of money, buy a small plot of land, then just disappear into the woods forever. Now, I'm just waiting for it to show up in the side chat. I did not know that Lethbridge was called the Windy City, because in my entire life, the Windy City has always been Winnipeg. And as someone who used to live there, I can tell you, the corner of Portage and Main is the windiest corner on the planet, for sure. I didn't live in Winnipeg. I lived in Saint Boniface, small French town. It's since been forced amalgamated into Winnipeg, so I guess technically I used to live in Winnipeg, but whatever. Destiny says Lethbridge is your old stomping grounds. That wind is unreal. Ain't never been there. Isn't that kind of on the border with Saskatchewan? No, I'm thinking of a different city, I think, maybe. Whiskey's done for the night. So good. I still have tea though. I'm waiting for this to show up. Everyone say goodnight to Peanut Trucker. And we will discuss your book in full soon. Sometime within the next 2 weeks. Once everyone's read it. Once everyone who is going to or is currently reading it is finished. Everyone's saying goodnight to Chris. He's got a busy week. It must be so hard to do that job. Like, that's like long days on the road. Like you must get a sore back, you know? I mean, not to mention the stress you must have of, like, okay, what kind of yokel's going to try and dive in front of my truck today? You know, like, going to try to, I mean, like, cut me off today. Who am I going to have to work my ass off not to flatten today? Kind of thing. It seems that people do such stupid things around big rigs. Knife is about 4 inches. Yeah, a couple of hot spots, but not that bad. Haven't really taken it out since I also have the Puko. I'm near a farmstead out in the woods with a fir plantation. Yeah, that Puko is pretty nice too. A Puko is a great design. Time-honored design. A Puko is to Finland what the Groman number 1 is to Canada, or the Woodlore is to the UK, or the Nesmik or the Kephart are to the United States. With a fir plantation. That must smell amazing. Hey, Mr. Mark is there. How you doing? Are you just showing up now? For the last half hour? How are things down there? How's the weather? How's the everything? Tea's finished. Whiskey's finished. Sinuses are driving me crazy. It's time for water. But Destiny, you had asked what's a good beginner knife kind of thing, or an intro knife. Like I sort of said, the 4 inches. I think it was David said the Groman number 4. I think something by Mora is just going to be simpler for you to learn how to sharpen. It doesn't have to be an uber cheap Mora like the basic. But if you want to spend $12 on a knife, the basic is a good purchase for that. The thing is, it's not a full tang, right? So that batoning thing I was telling you about, you shouldn't do it with that. You want a full tang or what's called a half tang. The most well-known half tang knife is the Tamagami by, it's one of my dream knives. So the fact that I've suddenly blanked on the company, it's in Norway. Hella. The Hella Tamagami, it's what's called a half tang. Now what that means is it goes all the way to the butt. Okay, it's a full tang and then it goes all the way to the butt, but it's only half the height, because the reason for that is because it's a knife made in a Nordic country with northern Canada in mind. So, whereas the vast majority of full tangs, right, is just two slabs of wood on a metal tang. Okay, for these half tangs, the wood wraps around the bottom where your fingers go. The reason for this is because if you're in -40, metal can get really cold, like frostbite level cold. And so, but wood doesn't. It gets cold, but not like metal does, okay? There's a whole sort of temperature transference kind of thing happening. So, like, I'm just slipping this out a little bit. So if you look at, this is the bottom, right? It's wood. Like, the wood meets wood here because the tang only comes down halfway. Right? So it's full so that you can do batoning and you've got that strength, but it's only halfway so that your fingers don't freeze, because very many bushcrafters have those, it's a mitt that flips and, is like little half gloves, right? So you got a mitt or a glove up here, but bare fingers, because here's the thing, you don't want to be wearing gloves while using axes or knives in the woods if you can avoid it. Because you need that real contact, that real grip, and you need to really feel the vibrations, or if something goes wrong, something starts to slip. You want nothing between you and the haft or the handle or the scales or whatever, because you need that tactility. And so that Tamagami dream knife is designed with that in mind, right? I'm not going to say that you buy a 300. They're like 280 something now. $100 more than the first time I said, when I've got a little bit more money, I'll buy one. But yeah, whatever is like so like the Garberg, look, it's 160 or so, well, I don't know what it is now. It's a little more money than just your plain Mora. But if you're just looking for a knife to really start with, develop some knife skills, Mora Companion, Mora Robust, Mora Companion because it's got a slightly longer blade for sure. And then when you decide you're going to get into slightly heavier stuff like batoning wood, or anything where you might need a lot of leverage, tomato, tomato. Then you want to kick it up to something like a Garberg or some of these new Moras. It looks like some of these new Moras might be full tang. I mean, it depends on what you want to spend, what your like financial reality is, right? Hold on. Mark said, I had 3 screens on tonight, so I was monitoring while working. Okay, good to know. Destiny's gone to boil up some thyme tea. All right. Good luck with that. A thyme tea sounds delish, actually. That sounds delish. Christy's had about 10 to 12 ads tonight. Okay, that's a lot. Like, how often are you getting ads? Like, I set it to every 30 minutes. Because here's the thing. They're no longer giving us the option of not having ads. So I'm trying to, like... I'm trying to space them out as far as I can. It seems that I think 30 minutes is the maximum interval. And I have the checkbox checked off where it sort of staggers them so that not everyone gets an ad at the same time. Because I sometimes miss when someone says they got an ad. And I just keep talking. But you shouldn't be getting 10 to 12 ads. Country Boys had no ads? Interesting. Wow, and you're getting 2? I hope Jess is getting paid. The thing is, the payment off of ads is terrible. Like, when I hit like 5,000 subs, I'm going to reopen my merch store and do a few of those things. But like, you don't get enough money to, like, if I was doing this for payola baby, it would not be worth it. I do this for the enjoyment. The monetary part is purely so that I can pay into the things that keep the channel running, because I can't just go diving into my pocket for that stuff, because I've got kids and mortgage and all that stuff. Wait, and they pop up blocking the chat? What the fuck? Yes, double some, and some you can't skip. Oh, this is terrible. Let me look into it this week, if I remember. Somebody might want to remind me at some point this week, though, because doing a lot of music because of St. Patrick's. Let me look into that. How the heck is Christian not on? I don't remember. I don't know why. Chrissy, the voice of reason for us, a bunch of side chat squirrels. I love it. Every 10 to 15 minutes? No, there's no way. That's not... What? That's not right. Fitchy, our comments for some reason are the ones that usually get held for review. No idea why. They're never off color. It's weird. What's going on? Your ads have been at random times. Okay, but like every 10 to 15 minutes is not supposed to be happening. I have deliberately set it to the most basic setting, like the sparsest, I thought. If you're getting it like every 10 to 15 minutes, that's not on. It's not on. Let me take a look at the monetization. Every 30 minutes, show ads to viewers at different times here are the options, okay? Every 6, every 12, every 18, every 24, and every 30. I can turn off monetization, but here's the thing. If I do that, you still get the ads. But those rat bastards don't have to give me anything. And for the tiny, tiny amount of money that I get from ads, it's kind of a wash for me. But I don't respect YouTube enough to want them to make free money off of me in any way that I can avoid that. Destinies, that's interesting. That's weird. I don't know. I'm irritated. What's in this fire kit? Like, was this a spare? No, I think I took this last time we went to the woods. Oh no, the threads are crossed. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. When in doubt, use brute force. If it breaks, it needed replacing anyway. What the hell? I think what's in here is some char cloth, but I can't get it open, so I don't know. I will rip it to shreds. Yeah, okay, forget that. This is, you stick it on like, if you're doing bow drill. I've never used it. That's definitely going to be char cloth. Hold on. See, I started watching Trevor Noah's Now What, and after watching 2 to 3 shows, I started having ads every 10 to 15 minutes. That is insane. And YouTube really is in some ways like that uncle you don't want near the cousins at the family parties. This is some horseshoe fungus that I treated. I beat the crap out of it, and I soaked it in a solution of birch ash. This is a big honkin' ferro rod. This a Bigfoot? Yeah, Bigfoot bushcraft. Somebody tell Les Stroud. Shut up. Fatwood. Pocket bellows. Actually, you do it the same to get that sort of Bernoulli effect. Country Boy says, I swear and entendre all the time and don't get helpful review. That and no ads. Maybe YouTube likes me. That'd be the first. Some weatherproof matches. Oh, these are little, like, fire starters, right? They're wax impregnated cotton balls that are, like, wrapped up in thread. Here's a little tiny piece of birch bark. Oh, no, this is merisier, whatever that is. Wild cherry? Whatever. No, it's birch adjacent, anyway. Fatwood. Oh! My little sharpening, my little diamond stones. Diamond plates. That's where they went. This is not my main fire kit, clearly, because there's no flint and steel in here. Gotta have flint and steel if you want Jesse to take you seriously as a fire kit. I mean, not you guys. I take all of you very seriously. Even David the Instigator. Ish. But this is bugging me because I'm not going to deal with it right now. Maybe. I mean, YouTube changes their policies all the time, trying to make any money they can. Birch adjacent. That's a new species. Must be a Quebec tree. It's whatever Americasia is in English. I think it's a wild cherry, or yeah, whatever. It's or maybe actually, maybe it's a, what is it called? Black birch, golden birch, yellow birch, whatever. The one with the dark bark, dark bark. Stop it. Anyway, it's tree. It's bark, and it's not enough to really make a difference. I used to have more, and I used it all making fires. Making the fires. I have to clean up all these knives now because of all these knives. Yeah. I don't know, Destiny, are you planning on getting a knife, or are you just sort of wondering? Like, I wonder if we were, well, it's too bad David the Instigator is not around and Russell's not around, because we would totally brainstorm, the perfect knife for Destiny. Although at Bushcraft Canada, you're going to find something to love, something to like, something to buy, something to spend your hard-earned money on. Excuse me. Bushcraftcanada.com. Country Boy says, nothing yet because it's not showing up yet. I got so much fat wood that I will never need a store-bought fire starter. Yeah, fatwood's magical stuff for sure. $13 shipping on Canadian orders over $49.99 at Bushcraft Canada. It's the carry tree. What? Yes, cherry tree. Yes, it's the cherry. Right. What does your shirt say? I do not know. Oh. Get lost, make new trails. The carry tree. Like, what? I'm looking at the knife finder on Bushcraft Canada. Knife types: compact, fixed blade. I think a 4-inch is a medium. Oh, Condor. So Condor are I believe made in El Salvador. What's his name? Flowers. Joe Flowers. He's a consultant for them, a design consultant for them, and their knives are very good for the price. They used to be like $30. Now they're like $75. Very basic, like the BPS and the Groman, but for the price, crazy good. Very solid. Planning a knife for the Christmas list. Well, you got time. I have not been able to find fat wood. I think I found some at one point. I did take some pieces. Country Boy says, oh, Mark got an ad. That knife comment was held for review. Why are Destiny's comments getting held? And on my whiskey channel, Tenenbaum's comments disappear. They never show up. Serge is out. Good night, Serge. Sleep well. So tell you what, I'm gonna look into that. I'll see if she's listed on a blacklist or something. I can never remember where to verify that stuff, but I'll figure it. What about the comment from long ago? Men who love the bush, meaning the woods. That was a classic. That was the most quotable of quotes. Destiny. Now that one has finally shown up here, I can show it. Maybe that's why YouTube's like, keep an eye on this one. Keep an eye on this one. Look, I'm not looking into this tonight because, as I said, I'm writing in my journal, brushing my teeth, going to bed. I might pick up the knives. Although I'm working from home tomorrow, so maybe I'll just do that tomorrow. Yeah, Country Boy says, we were all so busy laughing, no one could approve the comment. How long ago was that comment? It feels like that was a really long time ago. It's like a classic Destiny comment now. So we're coming down. We're coming down the home stretch here. There's 3 minutes left of tonight's episode. 2 minutes left. So anyone want to say anything before we move on to shutting her down? Yeah, at least a couple of years ago. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like it's a vintage comment at this point. I'm gonna add checking into why Destiny is always held for review. I'm gonna add that to my to-do list for tomorrow. Doo-doo. Excuse me for one little second here. Check into the comment restrictions. Find out why. Why? Grace says, good night, everyone. Oh, yeah, look, we're 1 minute from the end. So, okay, we're, Country Boy says, thanks for the live. And thanks for all you fine people make my Tuesday something to look forward to. And thanks to you as well for the same reason. So here's the thing. I will not be here next Tuesday. I'll try to maybe another night. Not sure. If not, I'll just do the week after. I will, if I can fit another night in next week, I will definitely try. Between now and the next time I see you, everybody, please stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night, friends.